What's up? What's up? What's up? Panther Nation, this is your boy, Big Brother A. And I'm here with Carolina Frat House Podcast uh, on a very nice day, Tuesday. And I want to talk about some of the things we got coming up. You know, a lot of things coming up. First, we just had the first depth chart drop. I'm about to go into that, see if any surprises, any cause for concern. Just looking at and evaluating what we could take from it so far. We know it's unofficial. It's out to change, but still, there's some things we could pull from it. Next, in 2 days, we're gonna see some Panther football. All right, the Hall of Fame game is Thursday. The Panthers game specific is 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We will be at the Arizona Cardinals. Dave Canales has already said no starters would be playing, so we'll be interested to see our backup players, our second string and third string players, see how they play and how they compete. One thing I am still going to be looking for this game is how competitive we can be. There's a real bad, I don't want to say stigma, but a real bad issue we have where we do not practice hard or take preseason seriously, and that follows us into the season where we start off poorly. Okay, and we've been doing that for years. Okay, years. And I believe the last season we started off well was when we grabbed Sam Darnold. Okay, under Matt Rule. I believe we started 2-0 and then sort of fell apart during the season. But every game after, man, we've struggled, and I want to see how, and I'll go into that more as well later, but I want to see how we compete in this game, even though there's no starters. But how will we compete? And also, we probably won't see this now. We might not see this implemented in the defense until the season starts. But there's talk about J.C. Horn being able to move around on the line and actually playing in the slot a little bit more. I'll probably do a deep dive to see how we've fared against slot receivers, but I like it. I like it a lot. JC is our big money corner. I want to see him if he isn't going to travel with the number one wide receiver in man to man. I would at least like to see him move to the slot and move around, sort of like Charles Woodson did with the Packers, and see him be a playmaker close to the line of scrimmage and on the boundary. So I really like this a lot. I also like his seatbelt insignia. I think that's extremely innovative. Really like the seatbelt, so you can strap the opposing wide receiver. But yeah, those are just some quick hits. What I really want to do is let's look at the depth chart. First, we're going to start with the offense, and let's see what we can take from the unofficial depth chart that's been released. All right, so here you'll see we have the depth chart listed, and there's not really any surprises. I did try to highlight the rookies, but I forgot Sam Height. So there's only one player highlighted, Monroe Freeling. But, he's plugged in at right tackle. We got Rasheed Walker at left tackle. Sam Height is going to be a backup. We have Luke Fortner as a center. T Mac, Jalen Coker, Xavier Leggett. Those are wide receivers. Nothing out of the ordinary. Okay, so everything is pretty much what you expect. Looking at the backups, nothing different there either. Brady Christensen would probably be a backup tackle, emergency tackle. So I know right now it has us listed as Stone Forsyth as our only backup tackle for left and right tackle. But Brady Christensen will probably help with the backup tackle role as well. But yeah, that's who we have listed now. I think the most controversial thing is tight end. Tommy Tremble is still the starter. Mitchell Evans is the backup at tight end number 2, and Jatavian Sanders is falling down to tight end 3. So that's not good for him. Okay, that's really not good for him. So really, he needs to compete the most in the preseason to show what he can offer to the team, because he's supposed to be the best pass catching tight end on our team, and right now he's slotted at tight end 3, and he needs to show some type of value to move him up, or I would not be surprised if he's cut off the team, or just held on to his contracts ended. But him at tight end 3 is not good for him. I would like to see Mitchell Evans maybe grow a little bit more and maybe beat out Tommy Tremble for tight end number 1, but both are more so there for their blocking. But I would like Mitchell Evans to be like to show, maybe surprise us. Players to watch. Like I said, Monroe Freeland is our first round pick. RAS Demon. All right, the perfect built lineman, left tackle. Let's just see how he looks at right tackle. We're gonna be watching to see how he looks. He's not starting at the left, so he should look above average. Okay, he should look above average. Jonathan Brooks, he's been hurt the past 2 years. In camp, they said he's moving well, he's looking fluid. Let's see how he looks. He could help our offense a whole lot by his supposed pass catching ability out of the backfield. Also, if he's just a dynamic running back as what we expected when we drafted him, he would offer just a whole new dimension to our offense. You saw what Rico Dotto was able to build towards our offense as just a super dynamic running back. And Chuba Hubbard is good. Okay, he's great even. He's good, but he's not a 200-yard gaining ability running back. He's just a very, very, very solid running back. So, if Jonathan Brooks has that type of ability, that would be great. But, let's just see how he plays. Let's see if he, looks good. If he looks smooth. Does he look like he has some speed, some ability? I'm going to keep my eye on him. Kenny Pickett, the report says he's did not look well. It has not been looking well in training camp. He's our backup quarterback. I do not want to hear that he looks horrible. Okay, that takes me back to last year where Andy Dalton looked horrible last year, and when he was forced to play, he looked horrible in that time he played. And we know Andy Dalton pretty much done. Okay, he's pretty much done. I believe he's still. I believe he's with the Eagles now. But we know he's pretty much done. Kenny Pickett, I believe we signed him to at least be a decent backup quarterback. Okay, we had a horrible backup quarterback last year between Andy Dalton and I don't even remember the guy's name. That's how bad he was for the Panthers last year. And why should we remember his name? Kenny Pickett. We need to see that he's at least decent, And there's a lot of people excited about Haynes King to see if he has some ability. I believe he has the strongest arm on the team. Let's see how he plays. But Kenny Pickett, I'm looking at him specifically because we paid him to be a good backup, and so far in camp he looks bad. So yeah, that's him. So those, and Jasim Reed, he's a guy. We brought him in, undrafted. He's been catching everything in camp. So right now he's slotted up in the third string. Him with John Mechie, but I would like to see if that changed. You look at some of the players in front of him: David Moore, Bryson Tremaine. They're more so there because of the system and their willingness to maybe like block or whatnot. Even Jimmy Horn Jr. He's different. He's there for his speed, and they're trying to see if he has special teams ability. Jasim Reed, he has a chance to beat out Bryson or David Moore. He's slotted behind Bryson. I think he has a chance. Especially if he has natural catching ability. I would like to see him more. I'm going to keep my eyes out on him to see how he performs during these preseason games. But yeah, just looking at the offense, just nothing really out the loop, which is what you expect. And I'm really expecting to see something different from Brad Isnick. Will he be able to work better with the offense than Dave Canales was able to do? Will he be able to unlock Bryce and the offense more? That's what I'm hoping to see. So, but yeah, that's the offense. Let's go over to the defense. All right, so defense, I do have all the rookies highlighted. Most are backup, second string. But, I expect that to maybe change a little bit. Like I said, this draft was mostly like strong depth draft, which was, I really liked it. But, one player, the first player, Lee Hunter, right now he's slotted behind Cam Jackson. I actually like that Cam Jackson is slotted with the first string. I do think he has very good nose tackle ability. He with D tackles, sometimes it takes them a while to build up the, NFL strength. I believe he could have built up his strength during his rookie year last year. Let's see how he does at nose tackle. We drafted him to be a great run defending D tackle. Would like to see if he's able to produce in that way. With Lee Hunter, even though he's slotted behind Cam Jackson, I would like to see him compete with Bobby Brown. Our prerogative that he should be able to beat out Bobby Brown. Okay, Bobby Brown, he did not play well last year. If you go off his PFF score, I believe it was 54.1. That's below average. Okay, so he's below average with run defense and with pass rush. And he's a little bit better run defender than pass rush. Lee Hunter, if he can just be average, he should be able to beat out Bobby Brown. And maybe Bobby Brown is just better off as a backup. But with Lee Hunter, if he's able to beat out Bobby Brown, we would have two young D tackles on the front line, which would be great for our future. That's I'm gonna keep an eye on Lee Hunter to see if he can crack the starting lineup before the season starts. Trevor Wallace, I'll let you know I'm not a fan of Trevor Wallace, so I'm definitely gonna be keeping my eyes out on him. It seemed like he was not able to handle making the plays, calling the defense, and performing at a decent great. Now we have Devin Lloyd handling that responsibility. So we'll see how he meshes with Devin Lloyd in the defense. You know, I personally believe he's one of those players that Avero likes too much. He's a, athletic marvel, but just not a good player. And as we saw, sometimes with those players, you have to sort of get rid of them for Avero because Avero won't bench him. And we've done that with DJ Johnson. Okay, Avero was going to keep playing DJ Johnson if we did not cut him. And I think Trevor Wallace is the same way. Like, I think Avero sort of fell in love with his potential, and is just going to keep playing him until we either cut him from the team or basically Avero can't play him. But we're gonna see. Let's see if he surprises me. I just have not been. I don't see the speed and the athleticism on the field. And his PFF score, agrees with that. He's a below average player. That's why, linebacker and safety was one of the biggest positions of need with us going to this past free agency. And speaking of linebacker, next is Princely. Okay, sadly, Nick Scorton went down for the year. Princely has to step up. Okay, we were expecting big things from Nick Scorton. Princely needs to step up and at least show some potential so that, for the little bit of potential we saw in Nick Scorton, that maybe we can have hope for Princely. Princely was the pass rusher. We're not asking him to be the starter. Maybe he can offer pass rush ability that would give us some optimism. While he was playing, he was very overmatched. His strength was a very poor run defender, and the pass rush wasn't there. It seemed like he just didn't have the NFL strength to compete. Let's see if he has that ability. Jalen Phillips recently came out and said he's the most natural pass rush on the team. Let's see. Let's see. It would be great if he came out as just a great pass rusher, because I think Jalen Phillips is more of a all-around end, where he's not like a dominant pass rusher. He's more like a good pass rusher, good run defender. So I think if Princely became a very, very good pass rusher, I believe that would mesh well with Phillips. Corner, Will Lee is on the third string, but he's been getting a lot of early reps, so sort of surprised by that. But Corey Thornton and Shaw Smith Wade have been very solid, so also not surprised. Our defense is listed as a 3-4, but I believe we sort of run like a 3-4 nickel. Looking at that with 2 down linemen, 4 linebackers, and 3 corners, I could see, like I said, Will Lee and Shaw Smith Wade and Corey Thornton fight for that nickel spot. But yeah, third string, he's been performing extremely well, and now safety, like I said, and this is the final person to watch, Lathan Ransom. So my big brother Jay is a very big fan of Lathan Ransom. All right, so he was wondering, and we've spoken, where he would fit on the defense, because I sort of figured that Zachy Wheatley would compete with Nick Scott and sort of take a free safety-ish position on the defense. But if you go off the depth chart And this is probably the most interesting thing with the depth chart. Trevon Moehrig is holding it down. Zachy Wheatley is sort of a backup to Trevon Moehrig. And you have Nick Scott listed as a starter, but Lathan Ransom is the backup to Nick Scott. So you would assume that if Nick Scott went down, Lathan Ransom would take over that position. Or that Lathan Ransom is competing for that spot. Now, another player I am not very fond of is Nick Scott. Okay? I think he's not very good. So, Ransom, I want to, I'm interested to see what he would offer to the team because he's sort of listed more of like an energetic hard hitter, and he's not really known for his pass coverage ability. But if he could offer that to the defense, that would be excellent. Even the energy, just the high impact energy. But I think Nick Scott might have, which is crazy to think, but better coverage instincts than Lathan Ransom, which is why so far he's listed as a starter. But Ransom should be able to beat out Nick Scott. I don't know if they're going to be a true challenge for the position, but I would like to see if he actually gets a chance to compete for that spot and how he would play with Trevon Moehrig. Would they both be safeties that are sort of, below average in coverage? Or would Lathan Ransom offer a little bit more in coverage? Maybe end up being a more all-around safety? Who knows? But I do like, I hope Zachy Wheatley doesn't fall too much behind. I would really like to, I'm going to pay attention to both safeties and see how they compete and see how I believe each would mesh with our team. So it's going to be interesting. Defense, like I said, more manageable. We don't need, at least, let me not say we don't need. I'm not worried for the defense as much. Okay, even if the defense ends up average, we did not sign. We did not hire a defensive head coach for where we want the defense to be top. Offense is what I'm more so interested in seeing and how they could progress. Let me go back to offense right quick. With T-Mac, he's putting on muscle and he just has, amazing chemistry with Bryce. Jalen Coker, we just gave him an extension. He's, mainly our wide receiver number 2. How he plays, if he's healthy early. Xavier Leggett, how he plays. He's slimmed up, but, he basically has to play well this year. From what I've seen, his chemistry is still a little off with Bryce, and I would actually put that more on Bryce than Xavier Leggett. But Xavier Leggett, he's running his routes pretty well and fast, but one of the strengths of his game is his deep threat speed, and it seemed like Bryce is late with a lot of those throws. Maybe the ball lofts on him a lot, and just a little bit of issue with Xavier Leggett. He seemed like he's still a body catcher, which is not surprising. He was mainly a body catcher in college, but with those type of passes, they're easy to swat out for cornerback, especially if they're playing catch up. It just seems, I wonder how well he will mesh with Bryce Young. I really, really wonder how well he will mesh. That's why I really had liked the potential of Chris Brazell. Sad that he got hurt. But I just really worry about the chemistry between Xavier Leggett and Bryce Young. But yeah, this offense needs to turn into top 10 offense, top 15 at least. Let's say top 15. Okay, we were like a bottom 28th and below offense. Let's get this to a top 15 offense. Okay, I'm going to say top 10, but top 15 at the very minimum. Okay, so, but yeah, but that's the depth chart we have listed. Um, with the preseason game coming up, we're going to see mostly backups, mostly second string and third string, and fourth string maybe even. I want to see the starters play some meaningful minutes, maybe in game 2 and 3. I want us to see us take the preseason seriously, and we'll wait to see. But at least we get some Carolina Panthers football coming up. That's the the best news out of all of this. So in 2 days we're gonna have some Carolina Panthers football. I'm gonna try to report on that game live. I'm gonna hopefully be up. Especially when Luke Kuechly gets honored. Luke Kuechly, one of my favorite players. I'm gonna have his jersey on for that live showing. And I'm really proud of him, man. I'm extremely proud of Luke. And I say that as a big John Beeson fan. Okay, I say that as one who a fan that really became a big Panthers fan during the Luke Kuechly, Cam Newton years. I sort of was a fan during 2001 and 2 when Julius Peppers came on, and that team went to the Super Bowl with Chris Jenkins and Mike Rucker and Jake Delhomme. I was sort of a fan, but there's 2 teams I consider like my Panthers. Double trouble years with D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart, and definitely the Cam Newton years with him and Luke Kuechly. And just really proud that he's being honored. When he had a serious concussion, it actually made me feel bad, and it's sad that he had to end his career shorter than we would like. But I'm glad he's healthy. He's going to be contributing to the Netflix's broadcasting for NFL games. So I'm very proud of him in that area as well. I'm pretty sure he's going to offer just a whole lot of knowledge and great input in that role. And, so, I'm just going to be excited to see him being inducted. And I feel like it's going to be a lot of Panther players that, we know and love that'll be there to support him as well. But that's it for now. Just stay tuned. Like I said, in 2 days, I'm going to try to show all of that live. So, we can have sort of live reaction to our play during that game. Let's go out and show the Arizona Cardinals that we're hungry. Okay? That's what I'm looking forward to. But that's it. Stay up. And I'll try to have Big Brother Jay with me for that Thursday showing. We'll see. If he's here, it's going to be funny. So, I'll make sure he's on. But all right, Panther Nation, stay cool. See you guys on Thursday.